Alrighty, so we are back with another race of Formula One 1990, and it's the Canadian GP in Montreal, and we skipped Monaco for obvious reasons, AI and all that problems that it always has on pretty much every game, especially on these older ones. So we don't do Monaco, but we'll do Canada right away. Before we continue, we have a quick look at the current standings, and that's Alain Prost leading the championship with the Ferrari with 18 points, followed by Mansell, his teammate, with 12 points, Gachot on 11 points, and the Coloni. However, he didn't make it out of pre-quali for this round, so he's not gonna be driving today. Patrese and the Williams 9 points, Wojtek 8 points in the Onyx, Nannini in the Benetton 6, Piquet in the other Benetton 5 points, Berger 4 points, Alesi 1 point, and Alex Caffey in the Footwork with 1 point. And Ferrari is having a massive lead in the Constructors' Championship, 30 points. Cologne is still second with 11 points, followed by Benetton also on 11 points. However, the Cologne driver Gachot won the first round, so that means that it's still ahead. But he's not going to be driving today, so that's a chance for Benetton. Williams is fourth with 9 points, Onyx fifth with 8 points. McLaren has only 4 points after a lot of gearbox issues, which should be now sorted. So hopefully we'll see the McLarens finish the races for the rest of the season. Tyrrell seventh with 1 point, and Footwork also has a single point to their name. So this is gonna be a big one, 71 laps. Berger starting from pole position, followed by Senna, so absolute McLaren dominance on the qualifying. Prost from third, Nannini from fourth, Piquet fifth, Mansell sixth, Alesi seventh, Boutsen eighth, Patrese ninth, Bernard, who I think it's the first time he made it out of pre-quali, put Delarus up on P10, Piro 11, De Cesaris 12, and somehow I managed to put the car up on P13. Alio 14th, Caffey 15th, Suzuki 16th, Warwick 17th, Gruyère 18th, Modena 19th, Wojtek 20th, Brabham 21st, Alboreto 22nd, Larini 23rd, Gugelmin 24th, Donnelly 25th, and Martini starting from 26th place. And obviously the 4 more drivers were not allowed to drive because they were too slow. So I think with that we should be pretty much ready to go and start this race and see whether or not I can last longer than 2 laps this time. It would be a nice change to actually make it at least halfway into the race. So we got everything ready. So the only thing left to do is do some racing. So here we go. Oh, bit of contact here. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to restart this time. This was 100% on me, bit of lack of concentration, so let's do this for real now, without me being a fucking idiot. have no brakes. And I got a stop and go penalty. Very great start to the race already. So I'm going to do the penalty right away. Whoa! Mansell just did an oopsie in front of me. Thought I'm going to collect him. Okay, so I'm going to restart one more time. No more restarts after this. And try not to fuck it up. And hopefully the brakes are going to work this time. Yeah, brakes do work now, so all good. Bit aggressive on the chaser is here. I really shouldn't be. Don't want to wreck the car so early. Cover the inside so Belarus can't come through. That works out just perfectly. But the chaser pulls away into the distance. That was bad.
That was a 1:44.94.
Whoa! Would be nice if the brakes actually stopped the car or slowed it down.
1:33.87. All right, that was a 1:32.53. That was a 1:32.22.
That was smart.
All right, that was a 1:32.27. was a 1:31.40. That was a 1:31.36. That was a 1:30.87. All right, that was a 1:30.91. That was a 1:31.05.
I'm getting closer to the guys in front.
That was a 1:31.55. All right, that was a 1:31.61. All right, that was a 1:31.03. was a 1:30.96. All right, that was a 1:30.37.
They slow each other down for me.
That was a 1:31.56. That was a 1:31.53.
and that's one of the McLarens out.
That was a 1:30.81.
Berger is out of the race.
All right, that was a 1:30.15. That was a 1:30.65. All right, that was a 1:30.87.
Oh, that's my engine gone. Well, that was unexpected, especially because it wasn't revving too much. Oh well, that's part of the deal. So, let's see how this looks right now. Senna in the lead, followed by Prost very closely. Piquet third, Mansell right behind him in fourth, Alesi fifth, Nannini sixth. And then the two Williamses of Boutsen and Patrese. Biro, Bernard, De Cesare, Suzuki, basically the pack that was about to start battling until Judd reliability struck. Alio miles behind, Caffi, Warwick, Gruyère, and at least their cars are still working. Marini, Alboreto, Martini, Donnelly, Foytek, Modena, Gugelmin, Brabham, and that's me, and Berger out of the race, only the two of us. That's unfortunate, and Prost and Senna are about to catch up to a bunch of back markers, which means it's going to slow them down and give a good chance to Piquet and Mansell to catch up. And basically this part of the field is pretty close to each other, so not too bad. And then a little bit behind Piro, Bernard, De Cesaris and Suzuki, and that's where I'm supposed to be as well. Right now I actually think that I might be the only Judd Power car on the grid, at least in this race. Which is problematic on multiple fronts because it's quite slow and apparently not even reliable, so cross drifting through over the curb. Well, at least that's one McLaren still in the race, which has been a rare occasion so far. Prost keeps looking but doesn't go for any moves. Meanwhile, here comes the chasing pack, but there's not a lot going on between them. Foytek visibly all by himself here. He's seen better days. And I think he's the only Onyx that actually made it to the race. And Prost overtook Senna, so now it's Prost in the lead with the Ferrari. Senna right behind, probably as they overtook Brabham. He managed to pull the loop off. Bit of a drifting by both Piquet and Mansell, and Alesi and Marini, and everyone is drifting quite massively in that corner. Well, I did what I could. We have a good race. Reliability, obviously, is and will be an issue with this car. So hopefully I'll have better luck next time. Also probably the first race, well, technically the second, because got taken out in Imola and in Brazil. But obviously that wasn't really my fault either. This one isn't, but this is the first time I DNF with a mechanical failure. And Senna is still stuck behind Modena. He's going to go for an overtake here. Yes, he goes through. However, Modena is trying to fight it for whatever reason. And this allows Prost to, well, it would have allowed Prost to pull away a little bit, but he's got Wojtek right in front, making it virtually impossible for him to get away, as Senna is catching him quickly again. So that battle for the first is not over yet. And now this is a chance for Piquet to go through and get a bit of an advantage over Mansell, who banks wheels with Brabham, who actually doesn't give up the position and just keeps the Ferrari behind. And this is Piquet's chance to pull away now, and Mansell has a half spin, but he recovers quite quickly. And now Piquet is away. So he used this chance wisely. And Mansell still stuck behind Brabham. Now he goes through. Brabham is going to fight it here alongside Alesi, who's actually trying to lap him as well. And it seems he tried to go behind Mansell, but that didn't work. And Nani arrived as well. And Butsen and Patrese a little bit behind. Here Piero Dece at his Suzuki. Not sure what happened to Bernard. He was supposed to be somewhere here. Is he out of the race? Yep, he is. So that's 3 cars out of the race, and we're about halfway through. Pretty low attrition, which is always nice. And we've got Prost and Senna battling. Currently, the Ferrari is still in the lead. Let's see if the McLaren will be able to catch him. Not close enough to try anything on the inside of this first prolonged chicane. And Senna has a look. Doesn't go for the move. So that's Prost still ahead. Piquet third, Mansell a little bit behind. Alesi fifth, and Nannini sixth, who is getting caught by the 2 Williams drivers, Patrese and Butsen, and I think Patrese overtook Butsen, as he was the Williams behind up until now. Piquet is trying to lap Gugelmin, Nannini is trying to lap Brabham, and that's everyone left in the race. And the Ferrari and the McLaren still very close. That was a big slip up by Senna. He also hit the wall, and if I see it correctly, he's got some rear wing damage. The car became bouncy for whatever reason. Yeah, that definitely looks like some rear wing damage. And this gives Prost the chance to pull away. And let's see how much Senna can recover with the damaged car. This could be pretty interesting as Mansell is back behind Piquet, who still couldn't lap Gugelmin. Here comes Nannini. Alio in one of the Ligier. Pittarini quite far behind. Well, it seems like with all the clean air between them, Senna is able to catch back up to Prost. Meanwhile, Mansell over to Piquet, and they still didn't lap Gugelmin. However, Mansell is going for it right now. Bit of contact, but he goes through ultimately. So now it's Piquet and Gugelmin, and this could be a good chance for Mansell to break away. Still not a lot going on. He still couldn't go through. And Alesi is right behind as well. There's still a bit of a gap between Prost and Senna. And it seems like the Ferrari driver has the edge. Well, of course, he's with a car that has no damage. As Senna hit the ball quite hard on the barrier. The car looks to be very slippery as well. So we'll see what becomes of this. I wonder what happened to Mansell. He lost 2 positions. And now Patrese and Boutsen. Well, they don't really seem to be fighting each other, but trying to lap Brabham, which has been a Herculean task for everyone who attempted it so far. And nothing happening between these 3. Gruyar, meanwhile, caught up to Caffey and Warwick. Larini is nearing there, pulling Alboreto and Martini behind. Nannini finally got through and managed to lap Gugelmin. And Patrese and both Williamses actually trying. Patrese is through. Boutsen not yet. Now he is. So that's both Williams drivers successfully lapped Brabham. Wojtek is out of the race. So that's one more, and Senna caught up to Prost in the meantime. Let's see how this unfolds between the two. Mind you, Senna is driving a damaged car after spinning and hitting the wall. And he's still able to keep up with the Ferrari. And he slips up on the curb, which allows Prost to get away. Mansell trying to lap Gugelmin, and well, he doesn't let himself be lapped. Alesi trying to get through, lapping Modena. Seems to be a difficult task again. Gugelmin very aggressively trying to fight back Mansell. For whatever reason, obviously rFactor AI that doesn't really care about blue flags. And then a bit of a pack that got together. And Prost and Senna are about to catch these, I think, midfield back. We'll see how that's going to work out. It's definitely going to slow both of them down, knowing how much they tend to fight back. Meanwhile, PK undisturbed, however quite far behind on P3. Alesi on P4, Nannini on P5, and Mansell down to P6. And then the two Williams cars and the two Scuderia Italias. And Belarus, one of them is already out. Both of them made it out of pre-qualifying, but only Suzuki is still in the race after Bernard went out. So the four cars that actually made it out of pre-quali was Bernard, Suzuki, and the two Larus, myself, and Gruya in the Osella. He's right here. Also quite far behind. About to get lapped. And Prost got through Donnelly. Senna is trying. And no, he's not. He will. No. I'm not sure. But the McLaren is far superior on the straight, so he got through easily. And now Prost versus Martini getting lapped. Well, he's not getting lapped just yet. Meanwhile, Modena doing an amazing job holding up both Mansell and Nannini. And now Gugelmin has found two new friends to play with, namely the two Williams of Patrese and Boutsen. And it seems like he still doesn't let go. And Prost was trying to lap Martini. Maybe now. Much faster, the Ferrari. And now Senna goes for it as well. has a peek on the inside to Prost as well, but not quite close enough to overtake him, as both of them are through Martini and are about to lap. I wasn't paying attention who that was. Alboreto and Larini. PK miles behind on P3, driving in clean air. However, it's going to take a while till he can actually catch up, and by then probably both Prost and Senna will be done with that pack of back markers. Now Mansell gets a bit of clean air as well. Nannini behind Modena. Doesn't lap, and just yet Patrese is through. So Boutsen still stuck behind Gugelmin. And then this little pack here, Alio and cleaner just by himself. Warwick, Caffey, Gruyar and Larini. And you can see Prost in the background, who's successfully lapped Alboreto. And on he goes to Larini. Senna a little behind, something must have happened there. Unsure what exactly, but something definitely did. He was much closer to Prost the last time we saw him, probably spun again. Must be having a hard time driving that damaged McLaren. Yep, he's definitely quite far behind. Good 3-4 seconds behind Prost now, or maybe more. Probably more. PK still undisturbed, Alesi, Mansell, and Patrese overtook Nannini. And now they both are trying to lap Modena. So far it's been a hard task to lap both Brabhams. Hopefully that's going to change now. And I'm just going to go back with Prost and go a little quiet. Right, let's get back to it. 37 laps have passed. So Wojtek went out with a brake failure, Bernard and myself with engine, and Berger with a suspension failure. Well, that's interesting. And now Prost stuck behind Gruyard. As Senna goes through Donnelly. PK still by himself, Alesi as well, and Mansell is coming into the pits. And retires. Well, that's a Ferrari down. And Prost laps Gruyard. Well, at least he tries. Gruyard actually fights him back for it. Then he goes through, so, and Larini comes right there and overtakes Gruyard. Yes, he does. And now it's Alboreto right behind him as well. Martini, and there comes Senna right behind him. Nannini and Boutsen stuck behind Modena. Still with Wojtek, Bernard, myself, Berger, and Mansell out of the race. However, Mansell still has a position as he's ahead of a bunch of lap drivers. PK is certainly catching up. And Martini rear-ends Senna and almost ends up spinning him. And this is a great chance for PK to try and catch up and probably take P2. Shouldn't be too hard. Alesi is out of the race. Shouldn't be too hard to take down a damaged McLaren. So that's Mansell, Wojtek as well. They are out of the race. So as we're past the halfway mark, the attrition starts kicking in. And Senna caught back up to Prost somehow through all these back markers here. And now they're struggling to lap Larini. This could be pretty interesting. As Senna goes through on the inside at the hairpin and takes the lead from Prost and goes after Larini. However, it seems that they might be stuck behind him for a while longer, which ultimately means that Prost still has a chance to pull off a similar move and take back the position, and he goes for the overtake. Now Senna's on the inside, Prost on the outside, and Prost gets back into the lead. That was very nicely executed, and they also slowed each other down enough that Larini could get away a little before they catch him again and get stuck behind him once more. And PK is already here and chasing the same pack that has been just lapped by Senna and Prost. And PK goes through, laps Donnelly. Now on to Gruyère and Martini. Patrizio by himself. Boutsen still stuck behind Modena, which is a good chance for Nannini to win a position. Piro, De Cesaris and Suzuki are still there. Alio, Warwick, Caffi, Larini. Now he's being chased down by the race leaders. And now Prost covers the inside, so Senna can't pull the same move he pulled on him a lap earlier. And they still didn't lap Larini. Now Prost is trying. Bit of wheel banging between the Ligier and the Ferrari, and Prost goes through. Now Senna's turn to lap the Ligier driver as he goes into the hairpin. Squeezes him a little bit wide and goes through. And that's Gruyère smoking in the background. Yup, that's the Ocella's engine gone. So that's another one that bit the dust as the chase between Prost and Senna continues. And they're about to lap Caffi. We'll see how long that takes, especially now that Senna is constantly there, looking for a chance to make an overtake. Prost doesn't go for a move just yet, as they near towards the hairpin. And now Prost goes through. And Senna remains stuck, and that's a lot of clean air in front of them. So this might just be what Prost needs to secure the win if Senna gets stuck behind Caffi a little longer. Oh, that was big. Caffi pushed Senna into the wall of champions, though it's not called that at this point. And that's the McLaren drivers race over. That was a very aggressive move from Caffi, and Nannini with lots of black smoke coming from his engine. don't think that... Yeah, that's about as long as that engine goes. So that's Nannini out of the race. So both McLarens, double DNF for McLaren. Again. Boutsen is out as well. Gruyère, we saw him. Well, that's interesting, and if everything goes well for Prost, then from this point on he's got an easy win. So Nannini engine, Senna had the get together with Caffey. Boutsen engine, Gruyère engine, Alesi Mansell gearbox, Wojtek brakes, Bernard and myself engine, and Berger out with a suspension failure. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 DNFs so far. And we still got 26 laps to go. And now PK in P2, however, is a little bit behind Prost. So not sure how much he's going to get out of that. Patrese all by himself. Piro the chase at his Suzuki. Not sure what PK was trying to do there. And that's currently Delarus on a point scoring position on P6, right behind the two Scuderia Italias. To think that could be me. Doesn't make me very happy. My engine is just as reliable as the Estonian internet. And that's Brabham out of the race. Attrition keeps going. PK still second, Patrese third, Theodore fourth. The Chaser is fifth and Suzuki sixth. And we'll see how many actually make it to the end of this race. By the looks of it, not a lot. So still 21 more to go. And that's a lot of engine failures. There are 4 drivers, 2 with gearbox. No, 5 drivers with engine, 2 with gearbox, 2 with suspension, and 1 by accident. And PK still trying to go through. At least he lapped Martini. Alboreto and Alio are still ahead. Except that's not Alio, but the other Legier. Caffey, will see what we'll do to him for taking out a car that was about to lap him. And then lots of broken cars there. And at this point, Prost has a solid lead, so if the car can keep it together, then he's going to have an easy win. As of this point, I don't think the Benetton will be able to catch him. Or the Williams, as a matter of fact, but he might catch the Benetton as there is just one car, Martini, between them. Ooh, the Chaser is drifting a little bit over the curb. And here comes Prost, right behind Warwick. PK still not through. Martini got overtaken by Patrese. Prost laps Warwick, getting himself another bit of clean air. He doesn't really need it. He's about to cross the finish line, and PK is just coming out of the hairpin. So that's a huge gap between first and second. And that's a lot of smoke coming out of the Lotus of Derek Warwick. It's a matter of time until his race is over. One more on the list of victims of Canada. Probably the race with the highest attrition yet. Yep, and that's it. That's Warwick's race over. And now Patrese is catching PK as he's stuck behind Alboreto. They go past Warwick's smoking car. The Cesaris. I wonder what happened to Piro. Piro is out of the race. Yes, he is out of the race. So we got even more attrition. And we still got quite a bit to go. Yep. And that's a brake failure for the Scuderia Italia driver. And out of 26 who started this race, only 13 remain. And we still have 17, no 18, no 90 laps to go. I can't count anymore, so yeah, 18 actually. So this could be interesting as Patrese overtakes PK. And that allows Alboreto to pull away. Prost still in the lead, Patrese, PK, the Cesaris, Suzuki at this rate. He's going to get a podium as well if the attrition remains like this and he remains lucky enough to stay out of it. Lots of DNFs this race. Now the only question is whether the Ferrari can survive till the end of the race. Or the second Benetton or the second Williams. All of them from the top three are the only remaining cars of their teams. And the Cesaris is in an absolutely great position in the Dallara and Suzuki as well. And I think Donnelly might have overtaken Martini. Modena and Gugelmin, Graham and Leighton still chasing each other. And that's Prost all by himself, getting closer and closer to that race win and to increase his lead in the championship. And there's Patrese and PK still stuck behind the two footworks, or arrows, or whatever you want to call it, really. And at this point, there's not much going on. This here could be the most exciting part of this next few laps. If Suzuki starts attacking the Cesaris. In the poor man's Ferrari. He still couldn't lap the footworks. As they finish another lap. So that's the first three on lap 58 right now. And that's Patrese out with an engine failure. That makes the Cesaris third. And Suzuki fourth. It's gonna be very interesting final results, and also that's both Williams cars out of the race. And I think the Cesaris and Suzuki are about to lap Modena and Gugelmin. But they most definitely are. Prost about to lap Alio. PK rear-ending Alboreto. And now he goes through. Laps the first footwork, who's coming back. I think PK will be able to go through here. It seems he is. No, he's not yet. And now Alboreto yields. The Cesaris on third place with the Dallara. And the Larus of Suzuki is also P4. Alio P5, Larini P6. So that could be double points for both Ligiers. So place your bets who's gonna be next. That goes out of this race. Suzuki stuck behind Modena and is about to get lapped by Prost. And Prost goes through, actually laps both of them. So Modena gets lapped by Prost and potentially by Suzuki, while Prost lapped both of them. So obviously that means that Modena is a lap more down than Suzuki is. And this allowed the Cesaris to pull away and ensure a relatively safe third place for now. But Suzuki is through in the meantime, so he's probably going to catch the Cesaris. And that's Prost in the background, lapping Gujalmir right now. Or at least he's trying. While he pulls it off, and he's going to lap the Cesaris on P3. And at this rate he might even lap PK, which would be an absolutely dominant performance of the Ferrari during this race. PK still couldn't lap Larini. He's not gonna go for the move in the hairpin. Suzuki still couldn't lap Modena. And I think Prost... No, he didn't lap the Cesaris yet. He's just right there behind him. I think he's going to pull it off by the end of this lap. Let's see how it goes at the hairpin, where Prost really likes to pull these lapping overtakes off. He doesn't go for it now, but I think the Ferrari has more than enough pace to be rid of the Dallara on the final straight, or maybe not. But he's very close now. Let's see how this is going to unfold. It seems like he's not even trying. No, for now he just keeps behind him. PK miles behind. Suzuki still stuck behind Modena. Alio, Larini, who's still not lapped by PK, down the two footworks or arrows. Donnelly, Martini, Gujalmin, Modena, and that's everyone that remains in this race. Prost is through as they come out of the hairpin. So 8 more laps to go. And that's currently only Prost and PK on the lead lap. But a lot can happen in 8 laps, so there could be a chance that even PK is going to get lapped. PK having a look. And then doesn't lap. Larini again. So there's still no change to that. Maybe now. He does have a look and they make a bit of contact. Larini defends aggressively despite he shouldn't be. Now PK is through and already off into the distance. And it seems like Larini is slowing. He quickly got caught up by both arrows. And gets overtaken by them. And that's one of the arrows smoking. Alboreto. So soon that's gonna be another car down. That's a lot of smoke right in front of Donnelly. And he slams into the wall. Gets collected by Martini. And that's his race over. Larini is coming into the pits. We'll see if he's coming to retire the car. Yes, he is. Well, this is getting very, very interesting. Alboreto still on the track. He despawned now. The Chaser is second. That makes Suzuki third. No, he's not. Prost, PK, the Chaser is Suzuki fourth. Alio fifth. Caffi sixth. Donnelly seventh. Martini eighth. Guglielmi ninth. Modena 10th. And that's about everyone that remains. So what happened to Larini? Gearbox, Alboreto, yeah, we saw that engine. And it's still 6 laps to go. Prost coming out of the hairpin, PK pretty much just starting the lap. So 6 laps should be, in theory, enough for Prost to lap PK as well. The Chaser is still on third. At this point, I really hope that his car can take this to the end. Well, that would be a well-deserved podium for Dallara. Absolutely not because I like the car. Yep, I'm driving Eurobrun. And here, our biggest rival, Suzuki. And in general, Belarus. And well, see, Alio is getting close to him. We'll see if he'll be able to attack and overtake. For now, Suzuki can remain ahead, and there's a bit of a gap between the two cars, not very significant. I don't think there's such a big gap between the two anymore. Yeah, Prost is definitely miles faster. So PK coming out of the hairpin. Well, there's still quite a bit until PK can get lapped. But the chaser is still third, Suzuki fourth, Alio on fifth. And we'll see how this unfolds. It seems to be the only potentially exciting thing going on. The battle between the potential battle between Alio and Suzuki. If Modena keeps holding him up a while longer, then Alio will certainly be in the position to attack Belarus driver. Suzuki is certainly not in the position to lap Modena. So 3 more laps to go. And PK is 54 seconds behind Prost. So he's not going to get lapped. And the chasing pack is catching up to the Cesaris. Two cars between Suzuki and the Cesaris. Gugelmin and Modena. Both of them seem to be pretty hard to lap for anyone who attempted it so far. And Alio is coming up. So at this rate there might be some battle either for fourth or even third maybe. That remains to be seen. And I think Suzuki is constantly able to pull away from Alio. So he's doing absolutely great against the Legier. But he's not able to lap Modena. Maybe sometime this lap. If he can remain this close, then the hairpin should be a good position to finally lap him. Let's see, and Alio arrived. And he's going for the overtake. Alio goes through. And he laps Modena as well, while Suzuki still remains stuck. Which means that Alio is up to fourth, Suzuki fifth. That's still 2 points for him. And that's Gugelmin retiring the car. No, he's actually coming out for a tire change. That's interesting. Or fuel. He shouldn't be coming out for fuel. There's no refueling. And alright, there he goes. I thought he's not gonna leave the pits. Suzuki still stuck behind Modena. Alio went off into the distance. The chaser is still on third. And that's a lot of drifting. Not sure if a mistake or maybe something with the car. Would be pretty unfortunate to throw away a third place due to a mechanical failure. So I hope that he can go through, and Prost actually wins the race. He's through. And here comes the chaser, is going to be third, Alio fourth, Suzuki fifth, Caffi sixth, Donnelly seventh, Martini eighth, Modena ninth, Gugelmin 10th, and PK second. If he makes it through finally. Here he comes. That's PK finishing second. And that should be everyone in. No, not yet. Donnelly, Caffi, Martini, and Gugelmin. Gugelmin is coming through now. 2 laps down. And Donnelly, Caffi, and Martini very close to each other, but not actually racing. Donnelly comes through 6th, Caffi 7th, Martini 8th, and that's the final results of this race. Quite a bit of attrition. Lots and lots of engine failures, some gearbox. So, hi Jan. A wee bit late to the party, mate. The race is just over. So, that was the Canadian Grand Prix, where I actually managed to last more than 2 laps. I'm proud of myself, and also it was the engine, so it wasn't an accident or some shit like that. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.